You always knew you'd be in for a ride. There'd be ups, downs, twists, and unexpected turns. It would be an exciting journey, even a little scary at times. And although it's difficult to predict what's around every corner, there's something else you understood. Transformation is essential for your business, your people, and your customers, so you can stay agile, resilient, and relevant in an ever-shifting marketplace. At SAP, we understand that true transformation is a journey too. It goes beyond the edges and deep into the core of your business. But it's a journey you don't have to take alone. No matter where you're starting from and where you want to go, we're by your side to simplify planning and execution and integrate data, intelligent tech, with cutting-edge ERP that will accelerate outcomes on your terms and on your timelines. The road ahead is clear. The next turn truly transformative. It's your time to rise with SAP. You always knew you'd be in for a ride. There'd be ups, downs, twists, and unexpected turns. It would be an exciting journey, even a little scary at times. And although it's difficult to predict what's around every corner, there's something else you understood. Transformation is essential for your business, your people, and your customers, so you can stay agile, resilient, and relevant in an ever-shifting marketplace. At SAP, we understand that true transformation is a journey too. It goes beyond the edges and deep into the core of your business. But it's a journey you don't have to take alone. No matter where you're starting from and where you want to go, we're by your side to simplify planning and execution and integrate data, intelligent tech, with cutting-edge ERP that will accelerate outcomes on your terms and on your timelines. The road ahead is clear. The next turn truly transformative. It's your time to rise with SAP.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all staying safe, and I hope you can see the screen and hear us loud and clear. I'm Jenna, and I would like to thank you all for attending today's webinar, Rise with SAP. I would like to make a few announcements. First, kindly note that this session is being recorded and will be published on our YouTube channel. Second, the Q&A mode has been enabled, and you should be able to see a question icon on the bottom right corner when you drag the side menu bar. Feel free to press the icon and type any questions during the session, and we will answer them at the very end. And now we will share a quick survey on your screen just for us to know you a little bit better. We would appreciate your participation in the survey. Please note that all answers are anonymous. The agenda for today is as follows. First, we will be talking about who we are, followed by Rise with SAP solution presentation, which will be led by our Pre-Sales and Projects Director, Mr. Ajay, and then we will be showcasing the solution in action which will be covered by our lead consultant, Mr. Yanash. Finally, we will have a Q&A session to answer all your questions. We're sure that today's session will help you convert bids into profitable contracts and deliver projects on time and on budget by digitalizing expertise and assets. Before we dive into the presentation, I wanted to quickly share with you about Inflexion. We are a certified gold partner for the MENA region with offices in UAE, Lebanon, Oman, and an offshore development center in India. We are in business for more than 14 years and have helped successfully deliver more than 200 projects. We were able to provide quality service to our growing 3,500 SAP licensed users through our family of about 100 plus experts, of which 97% are SAP certified with combined 900 years of SAP solution expertise. Our deep-rooted SAP relationship, being a value-added reseller and build partners with PCOE and recognized expertise of solutions and industry vertical, provides us with an ability to deliver focused SAP solutions, covering small, medium, and large enterprises, like the ERP solutions Rise with SAP, SAP S/4HANA, SAP Business by Design, SAP Business One, and SAP Customer Checkout for point of sales. While we also have SAP SuccessFactors, SAP Ariba, and SAP Customer Experience for the line of business. And finally, SAP Analytics and SAP Business Technology Platform. We help you become an intelligent enterprise. SAP PCOE certification is awarded post-SAP audit, which ensures we have the process, infrastructure, certified people, and SLA to deliver quality support consistently post-implementation. Our SAP recognized expertise in SAP Business One, SAP Business by Design, and consumer products highlights our commitment to customers. This designation recognizes the expertise and competencies to distinguish our capabilities from competitors in the market. The requirements include having trained and certified individuals in a focus area or industry and a track record of customer success and satisfaction. Our SAP certified and highly experienced team of consultants not only provide implementation and rollout services, but can also migrate and upgrade your existing solution. Our SAP PCOE certification ensures high quality of support, maintenance, and service levels, while our build partnership allows us to develop specific customization and adaptation for your business requirements. We can help you extend and integrate with SAP or third-party systems as well. With all these, we serve as your single window provider for your digital transformation journey. That's about Inflexion and its expertise in a snap. And now let me hand over to our pre-sales and projects director, Mr. Ajay, without further ado.
Thank you, Jenna. Welcome one and all. We would like to thank you for your participation and for being online with us today. My name is Ajay. I'm the Director for Projects and Pre-Sales at Inflexion, and it's a pleasure for me to take you through the next section of the presentation where we speak about Rise with SAP. So what is Rise with SAP is what we are going to explore, and the core component of is the Rise with SAP, which is S/4HANA public cloud. So on those lines, you get to manage your intelligent enterprise on your terms and on your timelines. So let's start with understanding what are the customer's challenges and imperatives. So we have found that this can be divided into four major aspects, starting with the economic, digital, technological, and finally environmental transformation that each and every organization has to undergo in order to be able to become an intelligent and a sustainable enterprise. In order for us to be able to deliver this, we need to adapt agile business models, make industry disruptive services, drive efficiencies and manage complex digital journeys, modernize technology and move to the cloud, and as well as become green in order to save the planet and save the earth for our future generations by becoming compliant and becoming sustainable organizations. So at SAP, this is the mission critical aspects that we believe that our customers face, and this is what we are trying to address with the Rise with SAP. So, Rise with SAP is basically helping you become an intelligent and a sustainable enterprise on the cloud. That is basically the key message of today's presentation, where you take the lead with industry innovations for managing your organization's top line as well as maintaining the bottom line in order to be able to perform, and also the green line in order to be able to contribute towards the earth's environmental necessities. You never stop improving because the competition never stops, and you need to always keep making change in order to be able to grow your business and differentiate it from others. You can secure your success by trusting and working with a partner who will drive you through the business of your growth as well as your rise. That's where SAP comes in, and we as a partner with SAP bring to you Rise with SAP. So, what does Rise with SAP actually consist of? So, Rise with SAP is a bundled offering from SAP, which ensures that you have a complete end to end business processes that are mapped in your organization, giving you the advantage that the others probably don't have. So, at the core of the solution, you have SAP S/4HANA Cloud offering, which is either on the public or private mode. You also have the flexibility to choose the infrastructure provider in terms of the hyperscalers that SAP has partnered along with, in order for you to be able to define the geography or the location where you would want to host these particular services. Apart from that, it also comes with the business process intelligence tools that will help you map your business processes and build your next generation business processes in the system, along with a set of tools that are available from SAP, which help you in migration if in case you are an existing SAP customer and you're transforming your landscape from an on-premise to a cloud environment with the latest SAP S/4HANA offering as well. Apart from these, we have also two other offerings which come as part of the bundle with the SAP Business Network Starter Pack, which again consists of multiple modules which allow you to be able to collaborate and work with external stakeholders in your organization. And finally, we have the SAP Technology Business Technology Platform, which is a platform as a service offering, which has a host of services, including Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, machine learning capabilities, and robotic process automation, which bring you to the to become an intelligent enterprise. Along with that, it's very essential that the industry focus is maintained, and SAP, with its 50 years of experience, has been an industry specific solution provider. Thereby, you have automotive, consumer products, industrial machinery and components, retail and utility industries that are being covered as a focus area to start with at the moment. Also, you can extend the SAP S/4HANA offering with a modular cloud ERP system where you can go with a two-tier approach as well. And also, you can decide to work with various other products that SAP has in order to enhance the line of business requirements that you have. Finally, with Qualtrics, we bring the experience management package as well, which allows you to be able to bring the operational as well as the experience data together to be able to become an intelligent enterprise and complete the end-to-end value chain of the business. So let's look at a little more in depth of what these tools and services that are provided with Rise with SAP. As mentioned, it's available as private or a public offering. What is included in terms of tools and services is the SAP readiness check, which helps you in order to ensure how ready you are to migrate your environment, your current SAP landscape to the new landscape in SAP S/4HANA on the cloud. It also helps you with the custom code migration in order for you to be able to see what are the dependencies that you have in terms of the customizations that you have applied and how they can be migrated or eliminated based on the new functionality which is available. We also have SAP Enable Now, which is basically a e-learning tool which allows you to be able to generate content in order to share them as a library. Finally, we have the SAP Cloud ALM, which allows for application lifecycle management in order to ensure that you have end-to-end migration or implementation project managed under one single software to be able to give you the visibility that you have at various phases of the project aligned with the SAP Activate methodology, which allows us to be able to successfully implement a project. Finally, we have SAP Launchpad Services, which again is an offering from SAP, which brings multiple applications into a single interface, and the user can personalize his particular desktop or a cockpit to his environment and be able to use the system effectively, where there is a multitude of operations that can be managed and notifications can be brought onto a same place. Next, the most important aspect of your business process is essentially mapping the current business processes and defining new business processes and enhancing the existing ones as well. With the help of SAP Signavio solution, you can do that by using the process discovery tools, which are also available, and also the various other applications which are available for you to be able to collaborate and design new SAP business processes. This tool is also very effective in existing implementations or new implementations or greenfield implementations, as we would like to call them. Then we have the SAP Business Technology Platform, where there are certain credits which are available for you to use from the host of services, which include analytics, includes Internet of Things, robotic process automation, as well as a host of other applications which are available based on your industry, based on your business. You can adapt any one of those services or multiple of them as well. Finally, we have the SAP Business Network Starter Pack, which consists of three major components: the Ariba network, which is an extension of the supply chain or sourcing and procurement network from the SAP offering. Along with that, you have the SAP Asset Intelligence Network as well, which we will talk about in the next couple of slides, and the SAP Logistics Business Network as well. All of these are bundled in one single solution, having one single SLA and being responsible from one single solution provider, which happens to be SAP. And we as a partner enable this for you as an organization. So the core element of Rise with SAP is the SAP S/4HANA cloud offering. So let's look at some of the key benefits and values that it brings. So from a business benefit perspective, SAP S/4HANA scope includes the line of business as well as industry processes, supporting 20 industries. And there are additional industries that are planned in the roadmap to bring it to about 32 to 36 industries, including the micro subdivisions in terms of various industries that SAP supports. Apart from that, you have the cloud enabled partner add-ons which are being developed. For example, if you would want to have a customer portal, then that is something that is available, which can be added on as a partner add-on, which is developed by us as partners. It's also available in 43 countries and in 25 languages out of the box. So you can use it on a global scale. You have pre-configured integrations with other cloud solutions that SAP provides, due to which you can have a seamless interface of exchange of data and be able to extend the solution to provide all the detailed requirements. From a strategic benefit perspective, you have the lowest total cost of investment, because you have fit to standard processes that come delivered out of the box, and it's pre-activated business innovation scope as well, which comes for you to be able to use, and then based on the gaps that we find, we then implement the solution. It's a scalable platform. You can start small and grow as large as you want in terms of your geographic use, in terms of number of legal entities, or even users. It also has the lowest total cost of ownership, because it's a single value subscription that you get for the whole package as an offering. It's the fastest onboarding time that SAP provides in terms of being able, from when you start the subscription, depending on the public cloud or a private cloud offering. The fastest time to innovation in terms of the deliverables that are happening in, which are frequently delivered by SAP on a quarterly or biannual basis, in order to ensure that you have the latest and the richest features and functionalities. Technical benefits also include the highest degree of automation via the machine learning and robotic process automation, which come by default as part of the service offering of SAP S/4HANA. Apart from that, you can further customize these to meet your requirements or build absolutely new ones as well. Flexibility and extensibility is part of the solution in order to adapt and meet customer specific requirements or industry specific requirements as well, which can be done within the app or using a sidecar environment. And also enhancement of the core application also is possible in terms of a private cloud offering. Operationally, you have the lowest cost of ownership. It's a native cloud infrastructure where everything is enabled on the cloud, everything is managed and done and maintained by SAP, and they have a SLA that is promised to you as well. Moving on to the SAP Business Network, we have basically out of the box integration with three line of business solutions from SAP that come as part of the product offering, and you would be able to see some of them in today's demo as well. So the first thing is from a sourcing perspective, you have the Ariba network, which is the world's largest B2B network in the world, which helps you with your vendor management in terms of procurement process. You can also have the asset intelligence network where you can make and operate your particular assets that you have, that you make, build, or procure in order to be able to manage them effectively to make sure that you have higher efficiency. Finally, you have from in terms of delivery management, you have the SAP Logistics Business Network, which ensures that logistics is managed and transport management can also be managed within the solution. So SAP Asset Intelligence Network is an extension of SAP S/4HANA, where you have the core asset management module, which can be extended by bringing in the multiple stakeholders like your suppliers, manufacturers, operators, and they are able to get all the information and be able to provide proactive services as well as disruptive services, and at the same time gives you higher efficiency, and you are able to manage a lean inventory within your organization as well. The OEM providers also plug in and they are able to get updates and they are able to visualize what is happening with your assets at the same time. This again helps you promote your new business model as sell equipment as a service, or if you are the customer, then your OEM manufacturer is able to support you to make sure that you have higher efficiency. SAP Logistics Business Network provides logistic interface with your digital freight forwarders, carriers, warehouse operators, and shippers, giving a complete visibility of where your deliveries are and shipments are in order for you to be able to track and manage them efficiently as well, and which could be in terms of keeping high level of customer satisfaction or also being able to expose your requirements to the suppliers in order for them to be able to update directly on the system. We have the SAP Cloud Application Lifecycle Management tool, which allows you to be able to do the implementation from an end-to-end perspective using the SAP Activate methodology. It has all the pre-built content phases and tasks that come as part of the Activate methodology to help you as a customer as well as we as a partner to be able to implement the solution successfully and be able to minimize the risks as well as be able to give you an insight of the project. And all of this is part of the cloud offering and is also hosted on SAP's platform. SAP Launch Service, as mentioned before, gives you the collective single user interface where you can set your own dashboards, you can set your own priorities, and you will be able to see every notification from various other parts of the solutions coming into a single window. And it also gives you an integrated app for you to be able to look at what is happening. Along with this, you have the mobile access as well, where you can download the mobile apps which are native on your Android or iOS devices and be able to access the SAP S/4HANA offering or the RISE offering as such. From an infrastructure and operations perspective, you go ahead and you choose the service provider that you like to work with, which SAP continuously is upgrading. So today we offer AWS, Azure, Microsoft Azure, Google, as well as Alibaba in some of the regions where you can choose the hyperscaler that you would want to work with, or you could also select to work with an existing SAP data center as well. All of these are backed by SAP's SLAs, which is at 99.7% uptime and a single point of contact. Further, you can also decide to have disaster recovery as part of your operations as an optional option as well. So now You can see the complete picture of what Rise with SAP offers and how you and your organization can benefit from it from an end-to-end perspective, where it has all the components tied in for you to be able to use the technology and take things forward effectively as well. So let's look at some of the customer values. We see that there is one SLA, which essentially means that there is one single point of contact, there is one single contract where everything happens. It has the next generation industry processes built in with regular updates and innovations that are delivered by SAP themselves. You have the collaborative networks in order to be able to extend your core solution and work with them. You have the openness and the modularity of starting small in terms of modules, in terms of legal entities, in terms of geographies or users, and then being able to scale in the system itself. You can have multiple industries working in the same landscape, in the same system, in order to be able to serve your purpose. And then further, you have collaboration as well as you have consolidation that is possible. SAP S/4HANA Cloud is uh, one of the core digital assets that SAP has, which is at the core of the whole solution. And this is part of the bundle as well. You can choose the infrastructure option, again making sure that you have geography independency in terms of where the infrastructure is located, how many hops you take, and what is the efficiency. Process insights and best practices are delivered as part of the package with SAP's 50 years of experience that brings to the table all the required aspects of you to improve your business. You also have transformation tools and services, as mentioned, if in case we are migrating the solution for you into the cloud landscape or into a newer version of SAP. You also have the line of business values in terms of extending the solution with SAP Success Factors, Ariba, Concur, or various other products. You have the operational and experience data with terms of Qualtrics in order to be able to tie the end-to-end value chain as well. From an SAP S/4HANA Cloud perspective, you can see that the solution is basically meant to grow with your business and be able to deliver what you're expecting. In terms of the user interface, it has the mobile interface. It's a responsive user interface. It is simple to use and it's easy to navigate, thereby adaptation time becoming much lower. It also has embedded analytics because of the HANA capabilities, where you will also be able to see during the demo how we can slice and dice the information in order to get into the lowest modularity level, as well as drill down into the journal entries or into the information that we're looking at. Along with that, there is predictive and insight to action capabilities as well that the system is able to deliver. Finally, we have machine learning and automated processes to reduce the errors that are probably prone to humans, as well as increase the efficiency and automation in the systems as well. From a global perspective, you can use the same solution to roll it out across multiple geographies. We have 43 local versions, 27 languages, and SAP is continuously evolving and giving you these out of the box by themselves. Apart from that, we as partners can use the localization kit to deliver localizations based on some of the country practices which are already existing in SAP. This covers payments, master data, invoicing, statutory reporting, benefits of employees' benefits, time data, languages, as well as validation that are required for statutory requirements. So all of these are met in SAP S/4HANA by default. Again, this slide shows you the magnitude of extended solutions that SAP comes pre-delivered in terms of the integration in order to simplify the data exchange and give you the option of scaling up to these depending on your business requirements and needs. Some of them like SAP Analytics Cloud, SAP C/4HANA, as well as you would be seeing in today's demo, where you can see a seamless flow of data as well as user interface that is available. Finally, before I hand it over to the demo with my colleague Ganesh, I would like to show you the capabilities of the system. And keep in mind that SAP does not sell on a modular approach. It gives you all the modules that are available as a single package in order for you to be able to adapt and grow. Therefore, if you are a professional service organization or even if you're a manufacturing organization, you have the ability to adapt all of these business processes within your organization, or you might have multiple legal entities which require these line of business capabilities which are also delivered. So starting with finance, a complete finance module with costing, budgeting is also available, including advanced functionality like treasury and working capital management, and governance, risk and compliance is part of the solution. From a procurement perspective, you can start with sourcing of direct materials and services right up to central procurement and supplier management. From a sales perspective, you can sell, deliver, as well as do pre-sales within the system as well. From a service perspective, if you're an industry which manufactures or is trading and you're giving after sales support, then you can manage your customer service completely within, and also have the service contracts as well defined and have the SLAs as well within the system. From a manufacturing perspective, it supports discrete as well as process manufacturing. Along with that, you have a module for quality management, and finally, environmental health and safety as well is bundled as part of the solution. From an R&D perspective, you have the product lifecycle development, you have the product compliance, and you also have the enterprise portfolio and project management, which is very critical for your business in terms of professional service, or if you're in the engineering construction business, where it gives you a complete overview of what projects you're running and how these projects are performing and what is their financial impact within the organization. We also have varied configuration in order to be able to manage different products with different specifications. We have asset management, again, which allows you to be able to do predictive, preventive, as well as corrective maintenance, along with the extension that we already discussed in terms of the asset intelligence network. Supply chain management gives you basic warehousing as well as the inbound and outbound process, along with mobile capabilities for your clerks to be able to manage them. We also have advanced ATP processing and basic transport management as part of the service offering. And finally, we have the industry capabilities that are bundled within the solution in order to make you adapt the solution to best of your knowledge. So this brings me to my last slide about why SAP S/4HANA Cloud. And you notice that SAP S/4HANA Cloud should be the strategic choice to embrace as your future of ERP because of the embedded best practices, enhanced user experience, insight and intelligence and automation that we have discussed. It is an agile modular cloud approach where you start small and grow big. Continuous innovation in terms of updates, upgrades on a quarterly basis that SAP releases in order to enhance feature functionality and reports as well. Security and compliance and scalability is at best because of the amount of effort that SAP puts in order to make sure that the infrastructure is up and running, the security protocols in place, and then there is no hack or interruption in your services. Openness and extensibility in order to be able to interface and manage within SAP solutions and outside SAP solutions and non-SAP solutions, including machine and equipment interfacing as well, enabling sustainable enterprises, which ensures that you are able to manage a green environment and also contribute to the world total goal of being a sustainable enterprise, which is the key word today. So that brings me to the end of my presentation, and I would now be handing over to my colleague, Mr. Gyanesh, to walk you through the product, and he would be able to showcase to you an end-to-end life cycle of how a project is run. You should be able to see Mr. Gyanesh's screen, and with, for, with no further delays, let me hand it over to Gyanesh.
Thank you, Ajay. Good morning, all. A very warm welcome to everyone. My name is Jnanish Bhabal, and I am a lead consultant S4 HANA solutions at Inflexion. I specialize in enterprise portfolio and project management, commercial project management, project systems, professional service on S4 HANA Cloud, and enterprise asset management. So up until now, we have seen how a project can be handled in SAP, courtesy ECC and S4 HANA on-premise versions using project systems, sometimes combination of project systems and portfolio and project management or CPM. And sometimes we also integrate SAP project management with external third-party project management tools like Primavera or MS Projects. But for today's webinar, we are focusing on how we can handle different activities within a project using S4HANA public cloud, that too using professional service module of S4HANA public cloud. So for today's demonstration purpose, we will be taking you through the pre-project award phase, which we also call as opportunity or quotation phase, wherein there will be different versions of estimates. Normally in a construction scenario, there will be different iterations that happen before the project is awarded to the estimates. So we would be seeing all of that, along with how you can plan, schedule, monitor, execute, and finally close your projects. And while you are doing all this during the tenure or during the life cycle of a project, how you draw different useful analytics that can enable your future execution in a profitable and timely manner. So while most of the processes we are keeping at core is the SAP S4HANA professional service, but we have also tried to integrate different services like Cloud for Sales, Copilot digital assistants, and Qualtrics, then Concur and embedded SAC, just to give you a sneak peek of how seamlessly different transactions can be seen under a single logical business process screens, and it will enhance your user experience as well. So let us get started with our demonstration for today. So initially at the opportunity stage, business development team or your account manager would like to have hold of his pipeline as well as the opportunities that are in line, so he can manage his opportunities. This is SAP Fiori initial screen. As you can see, there are different role-based tabs on the top which are assigned to any user based on his authorizations, and there are number of interactive options like the Copilot digital assistance and also a notification bar which enables you for ad hoc workflow or internal communication management. And under each of the role you will see different application tiles that are pinned based on the authorization or day-to-day activity that each employee carries out. So since we are right now in business development view or account manager's view, he can have a hold of his leads, his opportunities, his current pipeline by clicking on my pursuits. As you can see, he can at a click of a button he can view the pipeline for the month, the top pipeline influencers, and different information cards are displayed on his screen. So by clicking on each of this, it will navigate him to a more detailed list of data that he wishes to see. Right now, since we are talking about the opportunity, let us see how he can view the opportunities that are currently ongoing or which he wants to work on or his team is assigned with. So he can click on sales, go into opportunities, and list of opportunities will be populated with some key data that he can have a glance at. So if you see on the left hand side, there are names of the opportunities, the account or the customer names, the probability or the scores of winning, what are the probable closure dates, what phase it is in, expected value, and so on. He can also see within his team who is currently working on that opportunity under the owners section and what the current status of that opportunity is, whether it is stalled or not relevant or on track. So for today's demonstration purpose, we will be taking forward the MediaCorp digital service project opportunity. So if he clicks on the name, a quick insight will be provided giving him the key information. If he wants to dwell more into the details, he can click on the name and he can go into the opportunity page. On the overview tab, he will see the contact details of the customer, the sales team that is associated with this opportunity, if there are any underlying notes. If he wishes to see more of the header data, he can click on view details and go and see more details like the expected value, the probable closure date, what the probability of win is, and other details like how many days this is in the sales phase, etc. He can collapse the header details and choose to see more insights by clicking on the option downward arrow and selecting insight. Here he will see not only this, but prior opportunities which were won, which were of similar nature. He can see what were the time frames that they were managed in, so that he can draw a informed conclusion. So like you can see the one deals previously, that close date was pushed 2 times. Similarly, this current opportunity is open for 20 days. However, the one deals were open for 26 days. So he's doing pretty much well in that aspect as well. And this particular deal is in the opportunity phase for the last 30 days. Typically, a deal of this nature stays in the opportunity phase for 26 days. So there is some work to be done in that aspect. So this is the opportunity that he wishes to take it forward. Now, under a complex project environment, apart from standard workflows, there will be need of inter-company discussions or on the field navigations or on the field decision making. So this can be enabled by incorporating the co-pilot digital assistance feature. So on the same screen, if he clicks on the chat feature, the co-pilot digital assistance is enabled, and he can reach out to the project manager or to the project planning team for an estimate against this opportunity. So that is what he is doing here. He has been the project manager saying the CEO of the Media Corp wants to take this project forward, and he is requesting for an estimate of 3 months or close to 150K range. Having done that, now it is time for the estimate to be provided, so the project management team can spring into action. So let us see what happens after opportunity is processed. So the project manager, as you can see, now we are in the project manager view, and there are different application tiles that are pinned based on his day-to-day activities and authorizations. So at the same time, there are few new notifications that you can see are there. So you can view the notifications, and you can see there is a message from account manager to take forward the estimation work for digital service project. So you can either choose to create a estimation right from scratch in S4 HANA public cloud, which will involve several additional steps, or if he can integrate the embedded SAP functionality, he can also use the project health report. So we will be showing you how previous successful projects estimate can be incorporated ready-made into your existing estimate creation. So project health report, you will click on. He'll be able to see the missing time and staffing related information across different projects, the margins of the different projects, at the same time the working capital related statuses of different projects or the portfolio that he is part of. So since he wished to create an estimate, he may search for the top 5 projects with highest margin. To do so, he can click on this mode and say top 5 projects. The system will sort the first 5 projects with highest margin, out of which digital media assessment for Hypercom is more or less relevant to his current opportunity nature. So he can select this project and jump directly to review customer projects. So he can have a sneak peek of what this project is currently, how it is performing, and what are the current figures that it is drawing. So as you can see, the actual margin the project is covering is 55, close to 55.5%. Revenue can be seen. He can also see the team or the work packages that were estimated, what were the roles that were requested. So this becomes a ready reference for him to proceed with the current opportunity. And if he chooses to use this existing one, you can click on more additional details and say copy customer project. So with reference to this, a new customer project will be copied. Here he can see all the data from the previous projects are populated into the create customer project screen, wherein he can now replace the customer with existing opportunity. and click on save and proceed. The work packages which are drawn from the previous projects are copied exactly. So if he wants to make any changes to this based on the difference of in the quotation, he can do so by clicking on the arrow at the right corner of each of the work packages. So he can choose to alter the information from the previous project. So in this case, if he wants to reduce the number of hours of this junior consultant role, he can do so by clicking on the pencil and reducing the number of hours. Once everything looks proper, he can also have a look at the attachments or the documents that were assigned to this particular project. Click back. If everything looks fine, he can save and inform the resource manager. This is where co-pilot feature comes in handy. So the project manager can refer to the screen or the project work packages and ping to the resource manager or to the account manager saying this is the estimate that I have prepared. So in this case, the project manager is responding to the account manager with the estimate that he has earlier requested for. So if the account manager is available, he will respond saying, okay, so he is happy with the estimate and he will take it forward to the client. So this is the co-pilot feature that we are talking about, which seamlessly integrates with your S4HANA Cloud solution. Once the estimate is provided to the customer, the negotiation, everything happens and the business is won. Once the business is awarded, the project team can now spring into action and move to the planning and scheduling of the project activities. So the project manager can start with the project setup activity. Here you can see, again, we are into the project manager screen. Now there are few notifications again. So he can view the chat and see that the account manager has responded saying the customer has agreed and we can move forward. So he has requested to staff up project manager can now start his activity. The main feature which Copilot also provides you is when you click on a particular correspondence or the screenshot, it will navigate you to that particular screen or transaction. So if you click here, it will take you to that exact project screen. So now in the information tab, since we are starting with the execution or we are starting to do the further planning of the project, you can change the status to from in planning to contract preparation. Then further, if he wants to dwell more on the team, he will click on team tab to modify the role or now request for the resources. So from the previous experience or previously worked projects, if you want certain resources to be aligned with this project work as well, he can click on add resource against a particular role and he can choose a resource that he wants to raise a request for. So in this case, let us say he wants to onboard Jocelyn Holt. He can select the resource and say add to role. And then he can also modify the billing plan. At the same time, for Jocelyn Holt, this is the employee fact sheet that can be viewed just to verify if the credentials or the previous project experience is what we are looking for. You can dwell more into the employee fact sheets as well. Once satisfied with the credentials of the employee, you can click back and save this particular request, and you can now communicate with your resource manager that you have raised this request and it is for his action to be taken forward. So you can save. Now in the billing setup, you can go and add the billing plan related information, like you can select the contract type that has been agreed with the customer, material in this case we are showing you how to tag the resources, but you can also tag materials as well as your services to the project, and even the engineering tools that you want to request. Also, there is an option of assigning the WBS element to this particular billing plan as well. So if you want to further bifurcate this particular line item, you can simply click on the outward arrow and give the different billing due dates that you wish to bill the customer on. So for the first 2 months, as you can see, we have chosen to bill at 50K, and the last will be true up to the actual resource utilization. So this is what I wish to bill to the customer. Everything looks fine. I can go back to the previous screen and click on save. Now I am informing, I have taken the screenshot and I am informing the resource manager here that I have raised certain requests for resources, and he can now act upon and confirm the availability to start the project on time. So here I am requesting as a project manager to the resource manager for the resource allocation. Now, since we have raised the resource request, now the resource manager can go into his Fury screen. As you can see, only the applications that are relevant to a resource manager's activities can be seen in his view. At the same time, there are few notifications which he would like to see. So there is a message from the project manager asking for resources. So he will use the application resource management for projects. Here he will find a dashboard that gives him all the relevant details, like all the open requests, the resources which have free capacity available, the resources who are overbooked, the overdue resource request which needs immediate action, and other utilization related figures. So he can click on any data card to dwell more into the details. So if he clicks on all resource requests, the list of open requests will be seen, and he can choose to act upon any one request that he wants to work on. So since we are taking it from the previous step, let him allocate a resource to the MediaCorp project in the execution work package, and he can click on this detail to see further, like what is the planned revenue or what is the duration for which the particular resource is requested for, the probable start and end date. Okay, then he can click on the suitable resources to populate the list of available resource based on the skills requested. So he can select the resource and say create assignment. In the create assignment, he will see what are the total number of requested hours, that is 150. But however, the free hours available with this resource are 92. So he chooses to allocate this resource for the available free hours instead of the complete requested hours. And maybe at a later stage, he can staff a different resource for the remaining hours. So he will alter the distribute to available days to 92. As soon as he does, you can see the utilization percentage reaches 100, and there are no more free hours available with the resource. If everything looks fine, he can just save. You can see the status has now changed from overdue to partially staffed. That is because we have not fulfilled the total required hours. So again, clicking back, you can see the status is also reflecting in the initial queue. So the resource manager has now assigned the particular resource. Now back to project manager to confirm the allocation and proceed with his project timelines. So he can confirm the staff and start with project execution. So he has come back, the project manager has come back into his initial screen, and he can see the notification from the resource manager stating staffing is complete and you can start on time. As I said, the resource project manager can use individual application tiles, or he can simply click on the same screenshot to navigate to that exact project screen. So if he clicks here, it will take him to the team planning screen of that project where he has planned different roles, and he can see the staffed effort and staffed resources. So if he is satisfied with the allocation, he will now click on the information tab and put this particular project into execution mode. So from contract preparation, he will change the stage to in execution and save. Now he is reverting back using the Copilot digital assistance to the account manager that we have staffed, and we can start on time as requested. So he can just simply send, and if manager is available, he will respond in the same chat window saying great work and we are good to go. For today's demonstration purpose, we are restricting ourselves to resource allocation to the project. But as I mentioned earlier, you can do the same for material and service allocations as well. So now, since we have started the project and execution has started, the employees can now start logging their timesheets for day-to-day activities. So they can use their tablets or mobile phones from where they can access the Manage My Timesheet application. This is how the Manage My Timesheet application looks in a calendar view on the left. And if they click on My Task menu at the right top, the list of activities that are assigned to the resources can be seen in a panel mode. So he or she can select the activity that she wishes to lodge the hours against. So in our case, she will select digital media assessment, and for 16th, she will log the number of hours that she has worked, and if required, the note to the project manager or to the approver. She will select save and submit, and the timesheet will be posted. As simple as that. Similarly, they can also choose to post the expenses against the project, like the travel expense, accommodation, or any other expense like the food expenses. If they want to post, they can do this. We are not dwelling much into the details due to the time constraints, but this can be used with the help of Concur. So you can integrate Concur system with your project to get the seamless inflow of data. So once during the execution time is entered, now as a project manager or as account manager, I wish to be on top of my finances. I want to see the WIPs. I want to see the profitability. I want to see the account receivables at all times. So that is what my key when I am monitoring the project performance as a project manager. I can go into a project profitability application. This is an SAP Analytic Cloud-based application. Here you can see different dimensions are available to slice and dice. You can see different finances across all the portfolio that you are handling or different projects that you are handling. Or you can drill down to the individual project, like what we are working on is S1910. So if I click on S1910, it will give me only the project relevant data like what is the billed revenue, actual cost, recognized revenue, etc. If I want to further refine this view, I can, from the left hand panel, I can select different dimensions. So if I want to see individual resource wise what my project looks like, I can select the dimension full name. Now if you see different resources, I can see here 2 different resources are allocated, and I can view for them the individual figures. Again, further I wish to drill it down. I will add the expense line items as well. So I select the dimension line item, and I will get further details into individual resources and how and what exact expenses have been incurred. So this report is quite handy for me. And if I wish to see further detail to up to the GL level, I can quickly jump to and display line items in general ledger. Here you will find, if I drill to the WIP accrued revenue time, I will get a history of all the transactions that have taken place under my project. So this is what I can do, and all of the components or all the columns that you are seeing are completely customizable again as per your needs. So you can go into the setting and choose the layout that you wish to see. From finance perspective, if I want to do a soft closure of the business, that is, your finance controller wants to look at the overall project cash position and drill in on any issues before it creates a problem and get them fixed. He can do so. He can view this application balance sheet or income statement. The beauty of this application is that he can start right from the top, that is the firm overall finance statement, and drill it down to the actual balance sheet into inventory and WIP level. So if he clicks on assets, clicks on inventory and go into work in progress, he will find working, and since we are talking about accrued revenue in time, he can click on the figure hyperlink and choose the GL item display. Here you will find list of different projects and the figures, and he can choose to drill into individual project. So he will go into the media corp and get his information. So this comes in quite handy for your finance team as well to stay on top of the project and its finances. So same data right from the project level to the management level is available for analysis and draw conclusions and where the project is heading. The finance controller now also wishes to see the list of overdue receivables. He sees the different agings in front of him and wishes to act upon and fix the most aged one. So he chooses greater than 90 and goes into the sorted by customers. So he can see customer wise what are the maximum receivables. So he wishes to work on them and follow it up. So he can select the one which has maximum receivables due and say process receivables. You can select the customer line item so that all the invoices which are already sent or posted are seen here, and he can choose and create a correspondence or a follow-up with the customer. So you have seen how different transactions are brought into a single logical seamless business process here. Now the project manager can create bill to the client for the work performed. So in order to do so, he can go into release billing proposals. He can choose the project that he wishes to create proposal for. Here he will find different billing proposals, the quantity of hours to be booked. But offline, the customer has, let's say, spoken to the project manager and he is rejecting couple of hours from one of the resource, or he wants us to bill less for that particular resource. The project manager can adjust the billing proposals here. So let's say for J Holt, the customer has asked to reduce by half. So he reduces from 8 number of billable hours to 4 by adding 4 in the quantity to be postponed. Accordingly, the total hours is reduced to half. And if everything is fine, he will say update and release for billing proposal. As you can see, the debit memo request is generated for his project. Based on the debit memo request, he can choose to go on and create the billing document by clicking on the application, create billing document. Here, based on the previous debit memo request, he can choose it and select create billing document. You can verify the line items, and if everything is fine to him, he can post billing document. You can notice the status changes to completed. He can also see the process flow here. So right from the sales order to the debit memo to invoice, he can view. Again, clicking on individual documents, it will navigate you to the respective screens. If he wishes to preview the print output of the invoices sent to the customer, he can click on preview and have a look at the invoice document as well. Since he has now created the billing documents for his project, he wants to see how it reflects in the project profitability. So he clicks on project profitability. Again, different information cards can be seen, giving him the WIP, the margin details, the top projects by margin, so on. So if he clicks on the top project card, he can navigate to his individual project report. So for MediaCorp, he can see what are the current figures. Again, as I mentioned, this is a perfectly customizable report wherein you can slice and dice based on the dimensions that you want to add from the left. At the same time, change the layout by going into the settings of the screen. Once a client has been billed, now the project manager can choose to update the status of the project. So he goes into customer project screen. The list of projects and the current percentage of completion and the other figures are shown. So he can click on the MediaCorp project that he is working on. So what is the percentage of completion, what are the deviations, everything can be seen here. So he wishes to update the project status, so he will click on project status. He will add different dimensions that he wants to provide as a feedback. So he clicks and provides the different statuses against how he found the project to be doing. Once it is updated, he will click on save. Now we move to the closure of the project and the activities that the project team has to do at the time of closure. So the project manager can proceed with customer project, click on the project that he is working on. In the information tab, he will now change the status of the project to completed and save it. On clicking save, the system will automatically trigger an engagement view for the project manager to rate the project. Now this is the integration of Qualtrics that comes into play. So once he receives the notification, he now gives his feedback regarding the project performance, at the same time performance of the resources. So he can rate, he can provide a feedback and move forward. Here he is rating the resources. So after providing the feedback, you can note he has also highlighted the personal issue that he has faced during the project, that it was personally stressful and it didn't get enough management support. How this data is further used, we will now see. Since this data has been input into the Qualtrics, now it's time to draw analytics and predictive insights of the information that were provided during the project life cycle. So you can go into the firm-wide overview. Here different revenue and backlogs, utilization, etc. KPIs can be seen. So if he clicks on the insights of the WIP by age, he can choose which are the top contributor to the WIPs. So in this case, Hypercom. And then he moves forward and draws more smart insights related to the project. He can also jump to the WIP receivables and he can again filter out based on different criteria of age, customer, and different employees to drive at the WIP figures. Similarly, the talent experience analytics can also be drawn. Here the information fed to the Qualtrics as well as the success factor is used. Here you can see the YTD HR expenses or the margin is lowering, and you can draw conclusions saying it is due to the HR recruitment cost, or people are leaving because there are lack of meaningful management conversation as the lead reason. And if further dwells down, if he selects that particular reason, he can also see the feedbacks given by the project personnel from time to time. So this is where it helps the organization to make informed decision at various phases of the project, and for future it also helps us to be better equipped with our planning as well as execution. So this is what we had to demonstrate today for project life cycle. I hope you have drawn meaningful notes out of it. Thank you for listening. That is all from my side. We would like to you to participate in a small survey followed by a Q&A segment.
Thank you, Ganesh, for the wonderful demo. We now have published the survey. We encourage you in participating in the same. Moving on to the Q&A mode. So I would request Jana to start populating the questions. So we have a question from Mr. Saeed. It says, for any company having SAP S/4HANA on-premise solution, what kind of options are available when you go for RISE with SAP? Is it only an infrastructure enablement or also change in software usage, which finally impacts the current configuration setup? So there are multiple questions in this, sir. Let me try and break it up and answer them for you. Thank you for having such an elaborate question. So if you have an SAP on-premise solution, when you go with RISE with SAP, what would happen is ideally you would be moved on to the cloud infrastructure. And during the process of moving to the cloud infrastructure, your SAP S/4HANA on-premise solution would also get upgraded to the latest version that is available, and you would also get the benefits of the other package offerings that are there as part of RISE. For example, you would be able to enable the Ariba Business Network in order for you to be able to manage vendor interactions, where your vendors can register, they can participate in the request for proposal, they will be able to submit their quotations, submit invoices, and track the payments as well. So this is just one example of it. Similarly, we can also hook you on to the asset intelligence network if you are using plant and machinery and you would like your vendors or your suppliers to be able to get visibility of your current system performance. You would also benefit from the business technology platform offering, where you will be able to use additional modules that are available, including the robotic process automation that is coming with the latest enhancements. So this is what would happen. In terms of the configuration setup, there will be enhancements in the configuration in order for your the new line of business solutions that are offered as part of RISE to be enabled on the system, but their core processes would probably remain unchanged, and you would benefit from the newest technology as well as being on the cloud. I hope that helps answer your question. If you have any follow-up question to that, please feel free to type into the Q&A mode and we'll be able to answer them for you. So we have Akhil who says, what is SAP and why are we using SAP? So SAP is an organization. SAP is a company which is the largest and number one business management solution software company in the world today. SAP has several products, of which SAP S/4HANA is one of the products that we demonstrated. It's an enterprise resource planning software which allows your business to run in order to be able to have integrated data and information within your organization. So you will be able to link procurement, you will be able to link your finance department, your sales, your inventory management. If you're manufacturing, it will allow you to run all of these businesses processes which you probably are handling manually in an automated manner within the system. So I hope, Mr. Akhil, that helps you answer what SAP is and where we are using SAP. And SAP is being used currently by 3,000 odd plus customers globally. And that's a fast growing number. We have 250 odd million subscribers on the cloud as well. We also run your HR solution, for example. If you want to run your HR practice we do that as well. If you want to run your supply chain, we have solutions for that as well as part of SAP offering. I hope that helps you answer that question. Please feel free to ask any more related questions that you have, Mr. Akhil. So we have a follow-up question from Mr. Saeed again. What you're showing is project management for getting new business. Do you also have a demo option for existing business to show the checkpoints when they move from on-premise to RISE with SAP? So essentially, sir, today's webinar was focused on showcasing what RISE with SAP has to offer as the package, and also to show you how engineering construction or a professional service organization can benefit from an end-to-end cycle perspective. Now, in order for you to gain some advantage of this session, you probably would have understood what RISE with SAP is and what it offers. As far as a demo for existing business, we'll have to get in touch with you one-on-one, and we would be happy to do that as well. And our team will get in touch with you to answer, to try and see how we can help you in this particular aspect. Thank you, Mr. Syed. So we have another question from Abhijit. Abhijit says, during bidding stage of a project, we work with clients who are using SAP Ariba for receiving bids. We want to check if SAP S4HANA can integrate with clients Ariba to enable submitting the bids seamlessly for a business-to-business process. It is very much possible, provided your vendor is allowing the interaction and interface with external stakeholders. It is a technical question that your customer should be able to enable or disable based on their policies. But definitely from a technical perspective, it is quite possible to submit the bids from SAP S4HANA into Ariba as well. And this SAP S4HANA could be on-premise or could be on the cloud. It does not really matter, but the system has the capability to interface with Ariba to be able to submit the bids. So, Mr. Abhijit, I hope that answers your question. Please feel free if you have any follow-up question. We do encourage you to ask as many questions as you want. So we have a question from Mr. Abhijit. What would be the possible apprehension from a client for not giving the permission to integrate? So it could be an internal policy of the customer in order to not to allow his vendors to be able to integrate with the solution. But apart from that, it could be due to an internal company policy, and it could be due to infrastructural issues. But otherwise, I don't really see a reason why they should have any technical challenges, Mr. Abhijit. Thank you, Mr. Abhijit. So any further questions? I hope we have not missed any questions. Jana is anyway reviewing these. Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. It was a pleasure to have you on the webinar. We look forward to your participation in the future webinars as well. Thank you, Mr. Saeed. I believe we do not have any more questions. We would like to thank you for your participation from Team Inflection on today's webinar, and we look forward to your participation in future webinars as well. Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Jana, for having contributed to this webinar. Please stay safe. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody.